నాకేం చెప్పొద్దు. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending online. Am I audible? Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending online. Am I audible? Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending online. Am I audible? Please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending online. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you please respond to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending online. Am I audible? Guys, please respond to me. Please type in questions box. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending online. Am I audible? Please respond to me, guys. All of you get my voice on screen. Am I audible? Please respond to me, guys. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending online. Am I audible? Please everybody respond to me. Guys, please type in questions box. Am I audible? All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending online. Please everybody respond to me, guys. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending online. Online. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending online. Am I audible? Please respond to me, guys. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending online. Am I audible? Yeah. Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon to all. Right. Good afternoon, guys. All right, sir. Now, so in the last session, just we started with Java history. In Java history, what topics here we started there? In 1991, Sun Microsystems had a requirement to prepare a new programming language in order to prepare softwares for the simple electronic consumer devices like cable TV switch boxes, remote controllers, and so on. Clear? To prepare a new programming language, Sun Microsystems has gathered a nearly 30 members team led by James Gosling and Patrick Norton and started a new project called Green Project. In the Green Project, Sun Microsystems wants to prepare a new programming language with the following features. What are the various features here we are getting there? A simple programming language, tight-coded programming language, and an architectural neutral programming language. All right, here if you understand the simple programming language, what is the meaning of simple programming language here? Less execution time, more performance for the end product. Less memory, less cost for the end product. Less power consumption, less maintenance cost to the end product. Understand it clearly. Tight-coded programming language, we understood. If any programming language takes more instructions to perform a particular task, then that programming language is called loose-coded programming language. Then that programming language is called loose-coded programming language. Next one is, if any programming language takes less number of instructions to perform a particular task, then that programming language is called tight-coded programming language. After that, architectural neutral programming language, and before that are given loose-coded programming language, tight-coded programming language examples are given. In a C programming language for stack operations, push operation, pop operation, peak operation. 3 operations here we are performing there. To perform each and every operation on average, we are going to consume 20 lines of code. Overall, 60 lines of code here we are going to consume. But in the Java, to perform the same stack operation, just we are going to use only 4 lines of code. Just we are going to use only what there? 4 lines of code. Note I have given there. Java is a tight coded programming language, but C and C++ are what there? Loose coded programming languages. That's a punch here. Next one is what? Architectural neutral programming languages. If any programming language allows its applications to run under all the hardware systems, then that programming language is called an architectural neutral programming language. I think so in the last class, up to this part, we understood the content. Clear? Yesterday, we have discussed there that Java history introduction part we started. There we discussed up to this point here. Up to now, what happened actually? In 1991, Sun Microsystems wants to prepare a new programming language. In 1991, they started a project named Green Project. Part of this Green Project, they want to prepare a new programming language. That programming language must have 3 features: simple programming language, tight coded, and architectural neutral. What is the meaning of simple? What is the meaning of tight coded? What is the meaning of architectural neutral? Up to these points, we understood clearly. But still they have not started their implementation part for the new programming language. Still they have not started preparation of the new programming language. Just they have a thought, just they have a paper plan, just they completed paper plan only. Got it or not? Then what next one I'm telling there? In 1991, the same year, in 1991, Sun Microsystems started to prepare new programming language with the above features. Started to prepare new programming language with the above features. Good. Up to how much time they took there? Up to how much time they have taken to prepare this new programming language? All right, understand it clearly. At the end of 1992, December month, but the exact dates are not remembered. Just leave it. At the end of 1992, Sun Microsystems has prepared a new programming language. A new programming language. Sun Microsystems has created a new programming language. Good. Up to that, it's okay, fine. They created. But the remaining point is what? They wants to give a particular name to the new programming language. Sun Microsystems wants to provide a particular name to the new programming language. What name the new programming language, what name they want to provide to this new programming language? All right, observe carefully. James Gosling has suggested a new name to the programming language like oak. James Gosling has suggested a name to the new programming language like what there? Oak, O-A-K, oak. Understand my point here? Why? Because he always likes to see oak tree through his cabin window. In Sun Microsystems, he had a cabin. Through his cabin window, he always likes to see a particular type of tree. The type of the tree is what there? Oak. Oak is a tree. Understand my point clearly? Through cabin window. Due to that reason, he suggested this particular name to the new programming language. But what happened there? But Sun Microsystems has rejected the James Gosling suggestion. James Gosling suggestion. Understand it clearly. Meanwhile, all the Sun engineers suggested a name to the new programming language All the Sun engineers have suggested a new name to the new programming language, that is Java. James Gosling has given a suggestion with the name Work, but Sun Microsystems has rejected it. Meanwhile, all the Sun engineers suggested a name to the new programming language, that is what their Java. Now Sun Microsystems accepted the name Java for the new programming language. That's it. Because of that reason, here we are having the name for the new programming language is what there? Java. Understand? One or two points I missed it clearly, intentionally. Now I'm going to include the points. Try to understand it clearly. What happened here? So when Sun Microsystems has started to provide new programming language in 1991, when the new programming language was completed, preparation of the new programming language was completed at the end of 1992, Sun Microsystems prepared a new programming language. James Gosling has suggested a name to the new programming language like what there? Work. But he always, why he has suggested this name actually? Why? Because he always likes to see the work tree through the cabin window, through his cabin window at Sun Microsystems. Through his cabin window at Sun Microsystems. But Sun Microsystems has rejected the James Gosling suggestion. Meanwhile, all the Sun engineers suggested a new name to the new programming language, that is what their Java. Here, Sun Microsystems accepted the name Java for the new programming language. But here I have a question. What is my question here? Why Sun Microsystems has rejected the James Gosling suggestion? What is the reason why Sun Microsystems has rejected James Gosling's suggestion actually? Why? Because Sun Microsystems found that Work is already an existed programming language name. Understand my point clearly? What I'm telling here, Work is already an existing programming language name, Because of that reason, Sun Microsystems has rejected James Gosling opinion. Already Work is a programming language, already existed previously. Understand my point? But again, if we give the same name to our new programming language, the identity of our new programming language may be lost. Identity is going to be lost. Why? Because if we give the same name to the new programming language, everybody will think about it. This current programming language, new programming language, is an extension of the old programming language. Understand my point here? So we are going to lose the identity for our new programming language. That's why we should not give that Work is a name to our new programming language. Meanwhile, what all Sun engineers have done there? Meanwhile, all the Sun engineers suggested a new name to the new programming language, that is what their Java. But why, sir? Why Sun engineers have suggested this name to the new programming language? What is the reason for it? No. Why? Because again, what is the reason for it? Why? Because all Sun engineers are used to take a brand labeled coffee, Java. Understand it clearly? All Sun engineers are used to take a brand labeled coffee whose name is what there? Java. Because of that reason, they are given that suggestion to the new programming language. Unfortunately, Sun Microsystems has accepted that coffee name for the new programming language. So the name of that new programming language is what there? Java programming language. Okay, here the point is what there in this case. No, here Sun Microsystems accepted the name Java for the new programming language. That's a twist. That's the point. Because of this reason only, at present now we are having the name for our new programming language is what there? Java. Otherwise, you may have some other name, maybe Oak or maybe some other thing, no. But at present, we are having the name for our new programming language is what there? Java. So finally, name was provided. What was provided, sir? Name was given for our new programming language. What is the name of this new programming language? Java. Java is the name for our new programming language. That is confirmed. Okay, sir. Good. Nice. Completed. After this, after completion of this point now, listen all of you, listen carefully after understanding this. At the end of 1992, please understand it. At the end of 1992, Sun Microsystems has created the first product on the basis of Java programming language. Sun Microsystems has created the first product on the basis of the Java programming language, that is Star 7. It is a remote controller. It is a remote controller. At the end of 1992, Sun Microsystems has created the first product on the basis of Java programming language, on the basis of the Java programming language, that is Star 7. It is a remote controller. Star 7 is a remote controller. That is the first product. It was created by the Sun Microsystems. Yes, sir. Got it or not? Understand the point clearly, what I am telling you. Okay, fine. But unfortunately, what happened there? Star 7 is a failure product. Star 7 is a failure product. No customer is identified. No customer is identified for the Star 7 up to mid of 1994. Almost 1.5 years of time, Sun Microsystems waited to find a customer for the Star 7. But no customer is waited, no customer is identified for Star 7 up to the mid of 1994. Is it? All of you get my point or not? Now tell me, the very first product on the base of the Java is a failure product. They waited for 1.5 years of time to find the customer for the Star 7. But no customer is identified for the Star 7. It's a failure product. Understand it clearly? Good. Then what next one here? In the mid of 1994, there is a boom for www as part of the internet. What situation is available in the mid of 1994? At the mid of 1994, in the mid of 1994, there is a boom for www as part of internet. What is this www? World Wide Web. Here browsers are getting very good demand to open www. Yes, sir, got done. In the mid of 1994, there is a boom. There was a boom for www as part of the internet. Here browsers are getting very good demand to open www. Is it possible to access the internet without using browser? Is it possible to browse anything without using internet, without using browser? That's why, even though, that means if we have any demand for internet, automatically demand is coming for what? Their browsers. Without browsers, we can't do anything. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? All right. Now observe carefully. In the mid of 1994, there is a browser named Mosaic has a very good demand, to open www. Got it or not? It was created by an undergraduate student named Mark Anderson. Right, sir? It was created by an UC student. UC in the sense what? Their undergraduate student named Mark Anderson. Mark Anderson at Netscape Communications Company as part of his internship. As part of his internship work. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? In the mid of 1994, which browser is available? Mosaic is a browser which is available. It was created by, which was provided by Mark Anderson. He is an undergraduate student. As part of his project work, he went to the Netscape Communications, there who created this particular browser as part of his project work. Yes, sir, got it or not? Then one more point I'm telling to you. He took $6.25 per hour to prepare Mosaic browser. To prepare what there? Mosaic browser. Yes, sir, got it or not? So only one browser is available in outside market in the mid of 1994. The name of that browser is what there? Mosaic is a browser here. Mosaic browser has a very good demand to open www. It was created by an undergraduate student named Mark Anderson at Netscape Communications as part of his internship. Internship in the sense what? Project work. As part of his project work, he went to do what there? Netscape Communications is a company there who created that browser. Name is what there? Mosaic browser. Even he has taken the stipend to prepare that browser. How much is the stipend? He took there $6.25 per hour. Right, sir. Now, $6.25 per hour to prepare this Mosaic browser. Good. Now, this is a story in outside in the mid of 1994. Then immediately what Sun Microsystem is thinking, no? What Sun Microsystems is thinking about it? By understanding the demand for the browsers, Sun Microsystems wants to create a new browser, new browser for the internet access. Okay. By understanding the demand for the browser, Sun Microsystems wants to create a new browser for the internet access. So the new browser's responsibility was taken by Patrick Nathan and Jonathan Payne. These two members have taken responsibility of creating what their new browser. Understand it clearly. Again, they took nearly 1.5 years of time. Again, they took nearly what their 1.5 years of time. At the end of 1995, Sun Microsystems has created a new browser whose name is Hard Java browser. Observe carefully. At the end of 1994, Sun Microsystems has created a new browser whose name is Hard Java browser. Got it or not? Because of this reason only, people are thinking about it that Java was introduced in at the end of 1995. By seeing this hard Java browser name only, people are thinking about it. The Java programming language was introduced in might be 1995 December. No, it is not true. The Java programming language was introduced in 1996 January 23rd. Got it or not? All right, sir. Anyway, at the end of 1995, Sun Microsystems has created a new browser whose name is what? Hard Java browser. That's it, guys. Good. Then after completion of this, as per the request from the developers, Sun Microsystems, as per the request from the developers, Sun Microsystems wants to release Java programming language Sun Microsystems wants to release a Java programming language to the market. Right, Sun Microsystems wants to release Java programming language to the market. For this, Sun Microsystems, has set the date 1996 January 23rd. Almost all I remembered it. Max January 23rd. Has set the date, right, where Sun Microsystems has introduced the very first version of the Java programming language to the market. As per the request from the developers, Sun Microsystems has released. I want to remove this total stuff here, not required here. Sun Microsystems has released. Sun Microsystems has released Java programming language in the form of Java programming language in the form of JDK 1.0 version 1.0 version. As per the request from the developer, Sun Microsystems has released the first version of the Java programming language in the form of JDK 1.0 on 1996 January 23rd. That's it. On 1996 January 23rd. That's it, guys. Now, the very first version of the Java was introduced in 1996 January 23rd. Observe carefully. Sun Microsystems has provided there. After this, 1996, that means what there? JDK 1.0 version. There, what happened there? No, it's a language introduction. In this particular time, what is available here? No, language introduction. That means the very first version of the Java was introduced on that particular year, on that particular day, with the name JDK 1.0. It's a language introduction. JDK 1.1, this is one version here. Right, up to JDK 1.0 language introduction, JDK 1.1, so small enhancements, less enhancements, but in JDK 1.2 version was provided. JDK 1.2 version was provided. Then here more enhancements are provided in Java. More enhancements. From this point onwards only, we have the naming conventions like what? J2SE, J2EE, and J2ME. From this 1.2 version onwards only, we have the new concepts like what? J2SE, J2EE, and J2ME. Before this 1.2 version only J2SE is available, but right from 1.2 version only J2E and J2ME, two more things are provided. And then after completion of this, JDK 1.3 version, next one is what? That JDK 1.4 version, again dummy versions only, namesake versions only, one or two enhancements only. But the next major version is what? There JDK 1.5 version. JDK 1.5 version. This is the next major version. There are a number of features were introduced like where arg methods and annotations, like what there different concepts inside this JDK 1.5 version. It was major enhancements are available as a major version. Then after this JDK 1.6 version, JDK 1.7 version, 1.7 version are namesake only, dummy versions only, one or two new small features only. But again, the next version is like what there JDK 1.8 version is having what there so many support, so many feature support is available. It's a major version. After introduction of the 1.8 version, the total shape of the Java was changed. The total style of programming was changed totally. After the introduction of like what there JDK 1.8 version, the best concept is like what there inside the JDK 1.8 version, lambda expressions topic is available. Lambda expressions and functional interfaces, stream API. The stream API is also very good. These concepts are introduced to reduce code inside the Java applications. Then after that, after completion of this, next one is what there? JDK 1.9 version, JDK 1.10 version. Then after that, JDK 1.11 version. Again here, in 1.11 version, somewhat major version. JDK 1.11 version. Next one is what there? JDK 1.12 version. JDK 1.13 version. JDK 1.14 version. JDK 1.15 version. These are namesake versions only, small versions only here we are getting there. Now try to understand it clearly. The next one is what there? JDK 1.16 version. It's okay, namesake only. But after that, JDK 1.17 version, again it is a major version. Long run support is available. Understand it clearly, what I'm telling you. Next one is what there after this? JDK 1.18 version. JDK 1.19 version normal. Now at present JDK 1.20 version is also available, but they have not yet announced any big updations over the Java. But the latest major version is what there? JDK 1.17 version is the latest major version. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? So this is the total journey for Java programming language right from what there? 1.0 version. What versions are the milestone versions inside the Java programming language? 1.0, anyway, language introduction. Next major version is what there? 1.2. This is a big version. This 1.2 is what there? Big version, big changes. That means huge number of changes are available. It's a long run support. It's a big version. Next 1.3, 1.4 are namesake only. 1.5 again major version. Next one is what there? 1.8 is a major version. 1.11 is a major version. Right after that, next one is what there? 1.17 is the major version. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? What I'm telling you now. All right, sir. But here we need to understand one more point. What point here we have to understand? Right from 1.0 to 1.6 version, Java was managed by Sun Microsystems. Java was managed by whom? Sun Microsystems. Up to which version of the Java? Up to 1.6 version. Right from 1.7 version onwards, Java is maintained by whom? Oracle Corporation. Now the Java is available with whom? Oracle Corporation. Mr. All of you get my point or not? This is one point. Up to Java 10 version, Java is a freeware. Java is a freeware. No licenses are required to use Java programming language. But right from Java 11th version onwards, in a 2019 version, right from Java 11th version onwards, Java is a licensed version, but not for every user, but for what their corporate users, it's a licensed one. For the students, for the teachers, and for the individual development point of Java is not a licensed one, but in the point of companies, in the point of corporate users. For corporate users, in the sense, the developers, those who are working in the companies, they're the corporate users. For the corporate users, Java is what their licensed one. Right from which version of the Java now? Tell me. 11th version of the Java. I'll forget my point or not. And one more point I'm telling you. Before 10th version of the Java, yearly wise, Oracle Corporation has provided Java programming language. Almost all in 1996, JDK 1.0 is available. In 1997, 1998, JDK 1.1 version is available. Similarly, in 2000 year, right, JDK 1.2 version was introduced. After that, every 1 year or 2 years or 3 years of time, almost all, after JDK 1.7 and JDK 1.8, almost all 4 to 5 years of time was happened. That means after the JDK 1.7 version, the time duration they have taken to release JDK 1.8 is nearly 4 to 5 years of time. But what happened there? The moment when the Java 10 version is completed, Java 11 version onwards, Java 11 version onwards, then what next one here? The Java is a licensed version, that we have to understand. Read my point or not? Right from which version of the Java can know? Sorry. No. Java licensed version right from what there? 11th version of the Java itself, Java licensed version, that we understood clearly. Next, one more point is what there? Up to now we provided, up to this part, Java was provided by Sun Microsystems or Oracle yearly. 2 years once, 3 years once, or 4 years once, a new version was provided. Right from Java 11th version onwards, Oracle has changed their strategy to release the Java programming language. What strategy they provided to release this Java programming language? For every 6 months of time, they want to give an updation. For every 6 months of time, they want to provide a new version of the Java. You can think of it in 2019, in 2019, that means 2019 year, JDK 1.11 version was introduced. After that, in every 6 months of time, a new version was provided. Now at present, we are getting what there? JDK 1.20 version is available. Observe carefully, 1991 to 1991 to 2019, how many versions are available? Nearly 10 versions are available, 10 or 11 versions now. But right from 2019 to till the date is what there? 2023. How many versions are available here? No, these many versions are available. Nearly almost all, like what there? 1996 to 2000, like what there? 1996 to 2018. How many years of time is available? 1996 to 2018, almost 12 years of time. During these 12 years of time, only 10 versions of the Java was provided here. But now, right from this 2019 to 2023, almost all 4 years of time. Within 4 years of time, how many versions are provided here? No, right? These many versions are provided here. Understand the speed? No, what they're providing here. The point is what? Right from JDK 1.11 version onwards, Oracle people wants to release a new Java version for every 6 months of time. For every 6 months of time. In every 6 months of time, they want to give what there? A new version of the Java. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? So this is the total analysis how Sun Microsystems or Oracle Corporation has provided the Java programming language to us clearly. Yes, sir. All of you are listening my points clearly, what I am telling to you. All of you are okay? Getting sleeping? Afternoon time, evening time, right? Cool weather today, totally. Fine, good. Right, sir. Now let's move on to this point here. This is completed totally. Java history. The topic is completed here, right? For our confirmation purpose, I want to ask a few questions to you. Try to answer for these few questions now. All of you ready? Right, sir. Now tell me. And which year Sun Microsystems has started to prepare new programming language? 1991. And which year the first version of the Java was provided? 1996. All right, sir. Then under which project Java was created? Green project. Who is the lead for the team? James Gosling and Patrick Norton. James Gosling and Patrick Norton. Right. The very first version of the very first product which is prepared on the base of the Java is what? The very first product which was prepared on the base of Java is what? Star 7. Star 7 is a first product. Is it a successful product or failure product? It's a failure product. Understand it clearly. All right, sir. That's okay. Fine. What are the milestone versions of the Java? Now tell me. What are the milestone versions of the Java? JDK 1.0. Next one is what there? 1.2. Next one is what? 1.5. Next one is what? 1.8. Next one is what? 1.11. Next one is what? 1.7. As of now, up to 1.17 is what there? Next major version only. All the remaining versions are namesake versions only. Maybe one or two number of updations are available. Sir, got it or not? See, this kind of version release is not only a newer one from Oracle Corporation. Even if you take mobile phones now, especially if you take iPhones now, every year they want to release a new iPhone. Are you aware about it? And every year, I think on which month there? I think September or October? August, I think so. Maybe August, I think so. On August of every year, they want to release a new iPhone. That is their culture. Similarly, Oracle has a culture. What's that Oracle culture now? Right from Java 11th version onwards, on every 6 months of time, they want to release a new version. Understand it, All right, sir. That's okay, fine. This is the total awareness on like what there, the Java history, what we understood. Again, I'm telling to you, just it is only namesake. Only awareness purpose only I have discussed it here. Nobody will ask questions on this particular topic. Anyway, it was completed. That's it. Just leave this point here. One time read it. It's just we can leave it. No need to remember anything. Just casual I've asked some questions there, but nobody will ask questions on this particular topic. Leave this one. The next topic is like what there in the introduction part, differences between Java and others. Differences between Java and others. Here others are like what there? C and C++. Why I'm taking only this comparison there? At the time of preparing Java programming language, only two programming languages are very good by the time. What are the two programming languages? No, C and C++. Now let's understand these points clearly. What exactly the differences we are able to identify between Java and other programming languages. Try to understand it clearly. Right, sir. The very first difference here, what I'm telling to you. Before that, I'm telling to you nearly 8 to 9 differences here. I'm going to talk about these differences between Java and others. We have to put more concentration on this content here. Why? Because number of interview questions I'm going to cover during this content. Number of interview questions we are going to see there. So because of that reason, we have to put more concentration on these differences now. Technical concepts I'm going to start now. Technical, I'm going to talk a little bit about Java and other programming languages also. Right, sir. Now the very first difference here, what I'm telling to you, very first difference, C and C++ are the static programming languages. C and C++ are static programming languages, but the Java programming language is a dynamic programming language. But Java is a dynamic programming language. C and C++ are static programming languages, but Java is a dynamic programming language. This is the very first difference here we have to understand. All right, sir. Before going to understand C, C++ are static programming languages, Java is a dynamic programming language. Before understanding this particular point here, first of all, we need to have a question. We need to understand one point. What is static programming language and what is dynamic programming language? Which programming language is acting as a static programming language and which programming language is acting as a dynamic programming language? That we have to understand clearly. Is it? All of you getting my point or not? So after that, we are going to understand C and C++ are what? Static programming languages, and Java is what? Dynamic programming language. That we are going to understand later. But first of all, we have to understand when a programming language is static programming language and when a programming language is dynamic programming language. That we have to understand clearly. Let's understand these points here. I'm going to give some diagrammatic representation to you. Try to understand the points now. Listen, all of you listen carefully. So this type of introduction is required. It's a standard platform I'm going to create to understand any type of programming language now. So put more concentration, all of you know. For example, I have written C program. Whenever I'm saying it is a C program, immediately we have to understand the file name is what? Some file name .c extension. If it is a C++ program, .cpp. If it is Java program, .java. If it is a Python program, .py, py. Understand it what I'm telling you now. So this is a C program, for example. All right, sir. Now tell me, for what purpose we have written this C program? For what purpose we have written this C program? Now tell me. Just to execute the program, to run the program in order to get some results. To execute the program in order to get some results only, we have written the C program. Am I right or not? All right, now say this. To execute the program in the sense, who is going to execute our C program? Who is going to execute our C program? To execute C program, we are going to use a separate mission. This is nothing but what their execution. Who will perform this execution? There is a separate mission. That mission is what there? C engine. Who is executing our C program there? C engine is executing our C program. Is it? If you're getting it or not, what I'm telling you. All right, sir. C engine is able to execute our C program. By executing the C program only, here we are able to get some outputs. Definitely we are able to get some outputs. Okay, now first of all, observe carefully. Here C engine is available. We have to provide the C engine. We have to provide the C program to the C engine. C engine has to execute our program, and finally C engine is able to generate some output. C engine is able to generate what there? Some output. This is actual implementation, actual flow of execution for our application. All of you understand it clearly? First of all, I have written that program there, C program. Now I need to execute this C program. So one machine is executing our C program. What machine is executing our C program there? C engine is executing our C program. So what I have to do now? I need to give that C program to the C engine. C engine has to execute this program, and the C engine has to provide what there? Some output. This is actual concept. Got it or not? But it is not going to be happen like this. It's not going to be happen like this. Why? What is the problem here? Understand the point here. C engine, listen carefully. C engine is what actually it's a mission. Am I right or not? C engine is what there is a mission. It able to understand only. It is able to understand only low level representations. It able to understand only low level representation. What is the meaning of this low level representation? No, everything will be provided in the form of zeros and ones only. It's a low level representation. It able to understand only what their low level representation. Okay, C engine required the program in which language? No, low level language. That everything must be available in the form of what there? Zeros and ones. Clear or not? But if you observe our program here, who has written this program actually? This program was written by the developer. In a developer friendly language only, that program was prepared. What is the developer's friendly language actually? In which language the developer is able to prepare this program there? If you observe this one, in a developer understandable language only, this program was prepared here. What is the developer understandable language? No, that is a high level representation. That is what representation here? No, high level representation. Say for example, it may be C programming language, it may be C++ programming language, or it may be Java programming language. Whatever it may be, it must be understandable to the developer. That programming language must be understood by the developer. That is what their high level language. Say for example, into A is equal to 10. Right or not? Now tell me, into A is equal to 10, it's very clear that. But here what we provided here, equivalent code. No, equivalent code is available in the form of what there? Zeros and ones. Observe carefully. Which one is developer friendly? Which one is understandable to the developer? No, high level language. Developer can write the program in high level language. The developer written high level language code has given to what there? C engine, but C engine is unable to execute the program. C engine is unable to execute the program. Why C engine is unable to execute the program here? Why? Because it required the program in which language? No, low level language. But we provided program in which language? No, high level language. Say communication problem is available or not? Mismatch is available or not? Due to that reason, my C engine is unable to execute the program. But I want to execute my program here. I want to execute my program. Understand my point here? Right, exactly. In this particular situation, if you want to execute the program, here we have an option. What is that option is available here? In between program and C engine, in between our program and C engine, we have to take some translation. We have to take what there? Some translation or a translator. Here we have to take what translator or translation here we have to take. No, observe carefully. The translation is nothing but what? That means what is the translation here? We can understand it clearly. Translation here we have to take. What it will translate actually, understand it? No. What exactly it is able to translate the content here? For example, if we provide that high level program to this translation process will convert that program from high level representation to the low level representation. The translation mechanism is able to convert the program from high level representation to the low level representation. That low level representation is available in the form of like what there, zeros and ones only. The low level representations are available in the form of like what there, zeros and ones only. All right, sir. Now here, these are like what there, low level representations here, we can understand clearly. All right, sir. Like this here, we are having low level representation. This is clearly like what there, low level representation. Then whenever we converted the total code into the low level representation, that low level code we have to provide, we must provide it to C engine. The low level code we have to provide to what there, C engine. Now C engine will execute this low level code and it is able to provide some output. Now tell me, what is the job of this translation actually? The job of the translation is, if we provide the C program to the translation process, it will convert the program from high level representation to low level representation. Got it or not? Right, exactly. The translator or the translation mechanism what we have taken to convert the program from high level representation to low level representation, the translation mechanism is also be called as compilation. The translation mechanism is called as what there? Compilation. I'm asked one question now. Tell me, what is the purpose of the compilation in programming language? What is the purpose of the compilation in programming language? No, to convert the program from high level representation to low level representation. To convert the program from high level representation to low level representation. For this particular reason only, we have to use what there? Compilation. Is that all of you following or not? Good, nice. Next, one more point here I'm telling to you, try to understand it clearly. Everybody, put more concentration. Who is writing these programs are actually? C program. Who is writing this C program there? Developer. Developer is what? Human being. Am I right or not? Who is executing our program? A machine is executing. Machine is not human being. What programming is available inside the machine, that machine is able to execute that programming. As per that programming only is able to perform some actions. But program was written by what? Whom? Human being has written that program. What is the fundamental right for human being? What is the fundamental right for human being? Drinking water and taking food now. Obviously, that is a fundamental, that is a basic one. But apart from that, I'm telling there, the fundamental right for human being is what there? Committing mistakes. Am I right or not? Doing mistakes is a minimum. So if see human being in the sense, definitely it's a mandatory for human to go for some mistakes. Even if we call James goes in to write a basic Java program, a number of errors he is able to do. You know already he is the father of the Java. Understand it clearly. So fundamental right is what? Committing mistakes, doing mistakes in our program. Having mistakes is not a crime. Having problems, having mistakes in our program is not a crime. But without checking the mistakes, executing our program is a biggest crime. Yes, sir. Got it or not? What I am telling you now. Having mistakes is a minimum, is a fundamental right for the developer. It is not at all crime. But what is crime here? Without checking whether our program contains errors or not, without checking the errors in our program, executing our program, trying to execute our program is the biggest crime. It's a scam. I get my point or not? All right, sir. For that purpose, what we have to do now? Before going to execute our program, what? Before going to execute our program, first we have to check whether our program is the right program or not. Whether our program contains any error or not. Does our program contains any error or not? Understand my point here? The checkup here we have to perform. If we check that if program doesn't have any error, if everything is clear in my program, then send that coding part for what their execution. But first of all, we have to perform the checking or not. What checking here we have to perform? Error checking here we have to perform or not? Then who is performing that error checking? No, again the compilation is going to perform what their error checking. Who is taking that responsibility of error checking? No, compilation is taking the responsibility of what their error checking. Finally, compilation is mainly for two things, two activities. What are the two activities? No, first one is what? Translating our program from high level representation to low level representation. Second one is what there? Error checking. What is the second one here? No, error checking. They are the two responsibilities of the compilation. Everybody understand these points clearly? Compilation in the sense, number one, translation from directly, I'm giving that point, high level language to low level language. Next one is, second one is like what there? Error checking. They're the two responsibilities of like what there? Two responsibilities of like what there? Compilation. Right, sir? That's fine. These are the basics. What I require to move on to the differences between Java and others. That information already given. I'm going to introduce two conclusions now. Two conclusions. That names I'm going to introduce. Try to understand that names. Two conclusions I'm going to introduce. Listen carefully. The time when we perform compilation, come on guys, all of you understand it, no? The time when we perform compilation is called compilation time. The time when we perform compilation is called as what there? Compilation time. Compilation time is also be called as static time. Compilation time is also be called as what time here? Static time. Clear? All right, sir. Next one is the time when we perform execution. The time when we perform execution is called execution time. The time when we perform execution is called as what there? Execution time. Is also be called as runtime. Is also be called as dynamic time. Understand the words, no? Static time, dynamic time. Compilation time is called as what? Static time. Execution time is called as what there? Dynamic time. Remember this terminology. Almost all, we are very much close to our conclusion. Actually, for what purpose we are discussing this topic now? C and C++ are what programming languages? No, static programming languages. Java is what? Dynamic programming languages. To elaborate that point only, I'm introducing what is static and what is dynamic. The time when we perform compilation, that is called as what there? Static. The time when we perform execution, that is called as what there? Dynamic. Sir, got it or not? All right. Next point here. Observe carefully, all of you know. Understand the next one here. For example, int a is equal to 10, I provided. What happened internally? In some programming languages, when compiler encounter this instruction, immediately compiler will assign a block of memory for this particular variable. It may be 2 bytes of memory, it may be 4 bytes of memory, or it may be 8 bytes of memory, depends on the programming language. Right, sir? Now 10 is a value, it was stored inside this particular variable. In some programming languages. In some other programming languages, memory will be allocated for the data at a runtime. Int a is equal to 20 if we take now, at a runtime, in some other cases, memory will be allocated for the data. A is a variable, for it, the memory will be allocated at some other programming languages at a runtime, not at compilation time now. Please, all of you recognize carefully. I'm going to introduce one terminology. If the memory is allocated for the data at compilation time, at a compilation time, if the memory is allocated, then that memory allocation is called as static memory allocation. If the memory allocation is provided at compilation time of the program, then that memory allocation is called as what there? Static memory allocation. Similarly, now you only tell me if the memory is allocated for the data at a runtime, if the memory is allocated for the data at a runtime, then that memory allocation is called as what there? Dynamic memory allocation. Right or not? If the memory is allocated for the data at compilation time, then it is called as what? Static memory allocation. If the memory is allocated for the data at a runtime, then that memory allocation is what there? Dynamic memory allocation. Got it or not? Listen carefully. If any programming language is following static memory allocation, then that programming language is called a static programming language. If any programming language is following dynamic memory allocation, then that programming language is called dynamic programming language. Followed my point? If any programming language is using static memory allocation, then that programming language is what? Static programming language. If any programming language is using dynamic memory allocation, then that programming language is what? Dynamic programming language. Examples for static programming languages are C and C++. Example for dynamic programming language is what there? Java. That's it. Java is which programming language? No, dynamic programming language. And C and C++ are what there? Static programming languages. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Now my first point is completed. In the differences between Java and others, my first point is completed. What is my first point now? Tell me. C and C++ are what? Static programming languages. But Java is what? Dynamic programming language. Now let's observe carefully what I am telling now. If any programming language allows static memory allocation, if any programming language allows static memory allocation for the data, then that programming language is called a static programming language. Now example for this is what there. Okay, fine. One more point here. I'm telling to you, note here. I'm telling to you, if the memory allocation is provided for the data at the compilation time, then that programming language is then that memory allocation is called static memory allocation. Right, sir? Examples here I'm telling to you. All right, C, C++. If any programming language allows static memory allocation for the data, then that programming language is called a static programming language. Note, if the memory allocation is provided for the data at the compilation time, then that memory allocation is called as what there? Static memory allocation. Examples are what? C and C++. In C and C++, which memory allocation is going on? Static memory allocation is going on. At what time memory will be allocated for the data? At a compilation only. Right or not? Right, sir. Next one is, if any programming language allows memory allocation for the data, that means if any programming language follows or allows or follows, if any programming language follows dynamic memory allocation, then that programming language is called a dynamic programming language. That programming language is called what there? A dynamic programming language. Note I'm giving there. What is the meaning of dynamic memory allocation? If the memory allocation is provided at the runtime of application, at the runtime, at the compilation time, at runtime, if the memory allocation is provided at runtime, then that memory allocation is called a dynamic memory allocation. All right, this is clear cut information here I'm telling you. Example for dynamic memory allocation is what there? Java, we can identify like what there? Python, dynamic programming languages. These are like what there? So many examples. Even C++, that means C sharp, not C++, C sharp, .NET. .NET is available. It's also be following what there? Dynamic memory allocation. That's it. The very first point is completed clearly. Now understand it now, what we completed here. Tell me what is the title actually? What is the title here now? If any programming language, what now tell me, if any programming language follows static memory allocation for the data, then that programming language is called a static programming language. If the memory allocation is provided for the data at the compilation time, then that memory allocation is called as what? Static memory allocation. Examples are what? C and C++. If any programming language follows dynamic memory allocation, then that programming language is called a dynamic programming language. What is dynamic memory allocation? If the memory allocation is provided at runtime, then that memory allocation is called as what there? Dynamic memory allocation. Examples for dynamic programming languages are what? Java and Python. Right, sir? Some introductory related document. That means diagram I've given there. I want to give the diagram also inside our document. That's it. The diagram is also be provided. That everything I provided. That like a terminology. What is static programming language? What is dynamic programming language? What is the purpose of the compilation? What is the meaning of execution? What in which level we are going to write the program? In which representation execution is required? C engine is required the program. Then all the points here we covered clearly. That's it. This is the very first point here we can understand. The second point here I'm telling to you. All of you observe carefully. The second point here. Preprocessor is required in a C and C++, but preprocessor is not required in Java. Preprocessor does not required in Java. Then why? Why preprocessor is required in C and C++? Why preprocessor does not required in Java? What exactly the reasons can? That points here we have to understand. Clear? So do one thing. That the topic, this particular second point, I am going to discuss on tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll discuss about it, and tomorrow in the almost all, it may take nearly minimum half an hour more time to complete this particular point here. There's an important point where I'm going to give some diagrammatic representation where the preprocessor is available. What is the role of the preprocessor? What is the job of the preprocessor? Where it is existed in the programming languages. Then what is the problem with the preprocessor? Why Java does not support that preprocessor? Why it is available inside the C and C++? What are the advantages of the preprocessor in the C and C++? All these many points here we have to understand clearly. Okay, so don't miss the classes on tomorrow. In the next 3 to 4 days of time, the topics are very important. An introduction part. In this introduction part, what I am telling there, always I am going to talk about the greatness of Java when compared with the C and C++. Where Java is very good when compared with the C and C++. Conceptually, they are very important for us in the introduction content. So don't miss the classes in the next 4 or 5 days of time. Important topics I'm going to discuss with you without failure. Try to attend for these classes clearly. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? All right, sir. That's all for today. Then tomorrow we'll see the remaining content. Tomorrow we are going to see the continuation of these differences between Java and others. But my small request to all of you guys, I'm giving this document to you for the sake of you only. Video support we are providing there. Of course, the startup videos we are able to see even in the YouTube also. That yesterday and today's class is also there. But anyway, whatever it may be, classroom, class link. This is a class link actually. If you have not yet taken this class link, now try to take this document link. In this link only the total document is available. Understand it what I'm telling to you? So just if we copy and paste the document, if we copy and paste in the browser, automatically that entire document here we are able to get. Everyday notes I'm going to type here only. Every point I'm going to type in the inside the document. So every day we can open it and we can study this. Just 5 to 10 minutes of time we can assign for this particular startup topics there. As a matter of 5 minutes, just read the content, no practice immediately. In the second topic, I'm going to show how to write programs there, how to prepare the programs. But as of now, at present here, what we have to do there, just we have to understand the concepts only. Why Java is good when compared with other programming languages. That's the main concept. There I'm going to discuss about nearly 7 to 8 number of points. By that you are able to get some clarity. So try to read the content before come for the next classes. Today I completed. Today itself try to understand all the points. Now try to remember the point. Tomorrow we are going to start the new topic with a fresh mode. Got it or not? Right, sir. That's all for today. Then tomorrow we are going to continue the remaining parts. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah, yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot. Guys, then people are asking to me regarding this admission process. Contact to this number. Those who are attending in online, then they will give information to you. Yeah, Manikanta, just Nagendra is available in this particular number. Directly you can talk with him. He will allow, don't worry. Then I'll recommend you. No problem. Yeah, Manikanta, I'll recommend you. Don't worry. Just this number is there. Directly you can talk with him. Then he will give information to required information to you. Okay, Manikanta, are you there? Uh-huh. So what they are giving information to you? Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's okay. Then I will maybe then I will recommend, but I don't know then what is going to be happen. And they will. Hmm? Yeah. Then Manikanta, do one thing. Just immediately within 2 minutes, I'll talk with him. Just you can send message to that number, whatever the number I've given there. Okay. Don't worry. Then I'll recommend. Don't worry. Yeah. Then I'll give information to him. The Nagendra will do the remaining process. Okay. Manikanta, just send message to this number, WhatsApp number. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, just you can type your name there. It's okay. Okay, fine. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot. I'll meet you on tomorrow.